We would all love to be at that super high spot on the ladder. Personally, I don't actually feel the need to get higher than Master, but maybe that will change one day. Regardless, the people at the top spot always have some sort of strange and cheeky tactics that they use to get where they are. Now, of course, they have a lot of mechanical skill and game sense. I'm not trying to say that Grandmasters cheated their way up there and that they're all frauds, no. There are just things that they do much more often than the rest of us, and we just don't think of doing these in the middle of a match. There are things that I've picked up on from doing extensive research. You might have seen some of these in other videos, but honestly, not all the tips I found are all that useful. The ones here are the hand-selected best Grandmaster tips that I found. So starting with trick number 1, the super strafe spamming. That sounds a lot more fantastic than it really is. So it's simple, spamming the A and D keys on your keyboard to make yourself buzz like a bumblebee. It also works on console if you flick the joystick back and forth. It's just a little bit more uncomfortable, but it still works. This makes you move strangely and harder to hit, but we all knew that already, so why would I tell you this? Well, you can improve upon the method with some jumps and more linear movement. It's actually been easier than ever to hit a strafing player because of how long the method has been in use. It's strange how it can make you harder to hit if you throw in some periods of time where you move without strafing or if you stop moving at all. Crouching is also a very successful method I found in close combat. I've been in multiple 1v1 close-ups with the D.Va as Soldier 76, and by crouching, I can land my shots with her missing quite a few more. It forces the D.Va to aim down to try for headshots, but when she does, I just pop back up and she's shooting my knees instead of my head. That was an oddly specific example from someone who isn't even Grandmaster, but I think you get the idea. Trick number 2. I don't really know how to dive into this concept, but here it is. Jumping off the map to reset your spawn with your team. Okay, so let's say that your team is very dead and you're the only one left. If you try to run back to your spawn, you could get killed, which isn't a fun time and staggers your team. By jumping off the map, you reset your spawn faster, which in turn makes grouping up faster to make the next push happen sooner. You'll see this a lot in pro games, and you might even laugh at them because they're pros and they just fell off the map, but really, they're just being clever. You see, not only does it make you respawn faster, but it also denies the enemy team ult charge, especially for an experienced Genji player who can farm ult charge off you very easily and get maybe 20 or 25% of his ult just from killing you. In some situations, it's a better idea to die from a cliff than to feed the enemy team and still die. For trick number 3, we have Initiation Ultimates. This might be something that you do already, and if so, kudos. It's something that gives you a powerful edge in team fights. If you're about to initiate in a team fight, talk to your team and make sure you know what you're doing with your ultimates. A well-timed Transcendence or Sound Barrier gives your team some invulnerability at the beginning of a fight and allows for quick team sweeping or at the very least some good picks. It's something that you see quite often in pro games, and I think it's one of the most basic and useful uses of a support ultimate in the game, so anyone can pull it off easily. It's just that it's not often thought of in low elo tiers. Trick number 4 also has to deal with ultimates, zoning ultimates. Before McCree's ultimate buff, where it's actually usable now, it was a very useful zoning tool. It didn't matter where you used the high noon as long as it wasn't in the open. Just hearing the high noon sound cue made enemies start frantically looking to find the McCree, which made them lose focus because of the looming threat. The other thing is how long it lasts, because it zones for a good number of seconds. That was a specific example, but there are lots of ultimates that make enemies back away or makes them hesitant to go in. Lucio's Sound Barrier is one of them. If enemies are protected with Sound Barrier, why try to fight against an enemy team who has a lot more health right now? Zoning ultimates are most useful in 2CP and King of the Hill because of how it gets enemies off of points and allows you to secure the objective. It might not be something you see as commonly as initiation ultimates, but it's still good to know. Ultimates like Infrasight, Primal Rage, and even Tactical Visor, but now that I think about it, Tac Visor should be used right as you're about to capture the objective because it shuts down team pushes as it zones. For the final tip, which is going to make this a top 5 video, I guess, is that Grandmasters know exactly when to switch. It might not be as easy for you to know when switching is appropriate, but for Grandmasters, it's basically second nature. They know when it's worth it to sacrifice ultimate charge for a switch because they can tell who's doing work on the enemy team. One of the best things to do is just to check the kill feed. If one person on the enemy team is on a roll, a kill streak, a wombo combo if you may, then it's definitely time to switch to a counter. If the enemy Genji is getting double or triple kills with ease, it's time to switch a tank to Winston or Zarya. Although your ult charge is more important, it might be even more important that you take down the imminent threat. So that was 5 tricks that GMs use that the rest of us usually don't think about. Of course, these are all things that I found either by watching GM games or I've learned from other videos like this where I spent a large number of minutes researching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, or even if you didn't, don't forget to hit the like or dislike button down below. For more of this kind of thing in the future, don't forget to subscribe to never miss another video. As always, this is Carter signing off, and have a fantastic day.